What's up, y'all? I'm Puda, voice of the Tigers. With me, as always, Coach Dre Trosclair.
Yes, sir. Let's get it going.
All right, tough loss last week, 24-14 to St. James.
Yep,
But I know you back me. Them boys played their hearts out.
they did. They did.
They never gave up.
No.
Um, took the lead right off the bat, opening kickoff,
Yeah,
and you know, never gave up.
yeah. We just couldn't get it done. At the end of the day, 3-point game late in the fourth quarter. Second time this year where we're in a one possession game late in the fourth quarter. And we're learning, man. We're learning how to win. We're learning how to be a good football program. We're learning how to win games we aren't supposed to win. Things like that against really good programs. Week 1 we lose to a Lutcher program, state champion last year. Week 3 we lose to a state St. James team who was a semifinalist last year. So we're in tight ball games with really good programs, really good teams that are very talented. But it's games that we expect to win in our locker room, in our field house, amongst our coaching staff and our players. So at some point we feel like we're going to turn the corner, and we have to. We have to be the team that we want to be. But yeah, our guys played their tails off. They really did. All three phases of the game, they were giving it everything they had. Until the last whistle blew. I thought defense played well enough for us to get a win. Thought special teams played well enough. Offense had a couple possessions where we'd like to have back. We had 4 3-and-outs out of our 9 possessions. But if you look back at the first possession of the game, we just marched it, scored. Second possession coming out of halftime, marched it, scored. So you kind of saw what our offense can be when we're executing and we're operating on all cylinders. But that's something that we have to continue to get better at. And it's a new offense, it's a new system, it's a new regime, it's a new everything, and our guys are kind of just getting used to playing in that mindset, and it's part of it. It's going to be part of our process. So as we move along, yeah, the losses, through 3 weeks, we're 1-2, and that's what we told the guys this week. We said we are what our record shows. We have a lot of potential. Sure, are we a good football
Definitely,
team? I absolutely think we're a really good football
I
team,
agree.
but your record says what you are, and right now we're 1-2. So it's like, hey, we have another opportunity tomorrow night to get things cleaned up and be 2-2, and we need to get on a roll. You know what I mean? So that's kind of the mindset that our guys have is, all right, yeah, cool. We're 1-2. We can't do anything about it. We can't change the results of those games. But what we can do going forward is change our play and change how we react to different forms of adversity. And man, I am proud of our guys though. I mean, we're fighting. We're doing
They
everything we can to stay in ball games and to try to get things changed. And that as we move forward, that's what we're gonna do.
they definitely have no quit in them.
No, not at all. Not at all.
All right, let's get to these offensive stats.
Sure.
Quarterback Braden Becknell, 11 for 26, 150 yards, 1 touchdown, 0 interceptions, 4 drops.
Yeah. I thought Becknell played well last week. Honestly, I really thought he played really good. Thought he put some balls in some good spots. We had a couple really tough drops. Gyro had one right across the middle, where he kind of slowed his feet just a smidge. Same thing as Kyron, on a crossing route, kind of slowed his feet a little bit. Where we thought if both of them just keep in stride, keep running, that's some really big plays that we missed out on. So that's just kind of a common theme of what we've been doing through 3 weeks of the season, and it's something that we're hoping to eliminate, obviously. But he's playing well back there. He's still got 0 interceptions through 3 weeks. That's big for him as a sophomore starter.
That's huge.
So we're excited to see that. But he's playing well. We're trying to build his confidence, and as we move forward within the season, I think he's just going to continue to get more and more confident with his receivers and build a good relationship with those guys, and whenever they're coming out of their breaks, be able to hit them a little bit sooner. So I think as we move on, you'll see us continue to get a little bit better there. But obviously, I thought Becknell I thought he was a bright spot last week. I thought he really did some good stuff. especially on the first drive of the game. Man, he was efficient. He was
was
hitting everybody like right on the
It was a
numbers,
beautiful
right where they were
drive.
supposed to be hit. So he did a really good job on that first drive. And then throughout the week this week in practice, like I said, we're a 1-2 football team. We had to look ourselves in the mirror a little bit this week, and he stepped up. He stepped up as a leader. He did some good stuff this week that we were really excited to see. So I'm excited to see him play tomorrow night.
It definitely shows that he's gaining confidence. He's buying into the program.
Yeah,
He's
absolutely.
buying into your system, and hey, it can only go up from here.
It will. It will. It will
I
continue
have
to get
I
better.
have no doubt it will,
Absolutely.
because I know him, and I know he won't give up.
Yeah,
For sure.
he's doing a good job. We're proud of him.
All right, rushing. Amari Griffin, 10 for 40 and a touchdown. Cohen Gyro, 5 for 43 yards. And Braden ran 4 times for 21 yards.
Yeah, so rushing the football, I thought honestly we had a pretty decent night. When we got in the I formation and
Yeah.
ran a couple of traps, ran a couple of ISOs, things like that. We did some good things. We weren't necessarily in positions where on first down we did the things necessary to continue to be progressive in the run game for the duration of the game. So yeah, in spurts we had really good stuff in the run game, but we also had really negative and 0 yard runs in the run game too. So that's something that we're trying to eliminate, and it just comes from mental assignments. Honestly, it's just mental bust up front that we continue to have that we got to eliminate. Part of it is just being younger guys. Part of it is being a new system. Part of it's being moving parts and things like that. But that's stuff that we prepare for. The guys that are they're slanting, they're stemming, they're blitzing, they're twisting, they're doing different things. But our guys are taught really well. Our offensive line coach Alcazar does a really good job getting those guys ready. So we just got to make sure that whenever there is a play to be made, that we make it. I think a lot of times you'll see our team, we're kind of like waiting for a guy to arise as being our playmaker and waiting for him to make a play. We're kind of looking like who's going to make a play, who's going to make a play, rather than our guy stepping up and saying, hey, I'm going to make a play right now. So
Right.
as we progress, obviously, I think you'll start to see that a little bit more. But I'm really looking forward to our guys to start kind of turning the corner on wanting to be the guy that makes the plays in those situations to get our team rolling.
Right. I agree. Receiving, Bryson Woods, 3 for 83 yards, touchdown. He was our co-offensive player of the week.
Yep.
Amari Griffin caught 3 for 17, and Cohen 5 for 50.
Yeah. Bryson played his tail off. I thought Bryson
He
had a really
definitely
good
did.
game. He's a guy that's explosive. Obviously, you saw that on the first drive with a 50-yard touchdown catch. He's just a guy that can run away from people. So we're trying to get the ball to him as much as we can. We'll have some stuff schemed up for him tomorrow night against East St. John. But he played really well, and that's a guy that we've kind of been seeing this coming. And I guess this is his coming out party,
Right.
honestly. But, week 1, week 2, we expected to see this same kind of effort from him. We just didn't really get it. So, for whatever reason, he'll continue to get better. He'll continue to improve as a football player. But, yeah, co-offensive MVP, player of the week. And then Caleb Williams
Caleb
as
Williams.
well.
True
Freshman stepping
stepped
up for Gary, who was out this week. Did a phenomenal job, man. That's a tough spot for a freshman to come into
That's big.
in high school at home. First home game in front of the home crowd against a really good 3A opponent, top 10, top 5 3A team. And he steps in, and honestly, the best thing you can say about an offensive lineman is when you don't really notice him because he wasn't doing anything out of the ordinary or anything bad to where you're like, man, what is he doing?
Right.
So he did a great job of filling in and doing his role. He executed to the best of his ability. And, man, we were really excited to see that because, that's a guy we're going to have for 4 years. So to be able to
That's-
step up in this spot in week 3 of his freshman year, that's incredible, honestly. Just the mental aspect of it to be
That's-
able to handle all the stuff that we do offensively as a freshman and just to be prepared for it when his number was called because he's not a guy that was expecting to okay, I'm probably going to start at some
Right.
point this year as a freshman. He's not thinking that, but he prepared like it. You know what I mean? So, yeah, incredible job by him, man. You can't say enough about what he was able to do, last week. And then I thought we had good performances. Bob Bourgeois did a good job again. He's been doing a great job there. Jackson had some good moments. Carter had good moments. Skyler had good moments. I thought we really handled their pressure well. Last week, correct me if I'm wrong, one sack, no sacks?
One sack.
One sack. So one sack over the course of the game.
And was that their first this year?
No, with Lutcher, we had a bunch. We had a bunch week one,
right.
but yeah, none last week, and then one this week. In the last 2 weeks, one. Really good job up front. But yeah, man,
awesome.
I think they did a good job up front. For the most part during the game, giving Braden time to operate. We just got to be a little bit sharper in our route, sharper catching the ball, doing things that we're supposed to do, and our timing. It's just got to continue to get better, which it will. But yeah, man, offensively, honestly, just being completely upfront, didn't think we played well enough to win the football game last week, and obviously we didn't. I thought, the defense put us in a good position. Special teams, for the most part, put us in a good position. Offensively, we just got to continue to get better. We've got to do better things when we're in position to score. We had a field goal that got blocked. Obviously, that's 3 points that we missed out in a 10-point ball game. And then we got down in their territory 2 times where we didn't score. So that's something as well that's something that's got to change. When we get into the scoring zone, we've absolutely got to be able to punch it in.
Got to put points.
Yep.
All right. Overall offensive stats: 19 rush attempts, 104 yards, 5.47 yards per carry. 26 pass attempts, 150 yards, 13.63 yards per completion. 45 total plays, 254 total yards, 5.64 yards per play. 4 penalties, 30 yards, 1 sack, 0 turnovers.
So 0 turnovers has been a bright spot.
It's always.
It really has. It's been a
so
good thing. That's something
that might be what I'm thinking of. No turnovers this year on offense, huh?
Offensively, no. Special teams. It was special teams against South Lafourche, but we had 1 interception against Lutcher week 1. Down through a pick when we went to a Wildcat package. But other than that, Braden has no interceptions. Running backs hadn't been fumbling, so
holding on to the ball.
We're holding on to the ball. We're doing a good job there offensively. We just haven't executed whenever we need to score points. We need to score points. But yeah, and 250 yards of offense on a given night, 45 plays. We need to extend drives. We need to do a better job of keeping our defense off the field. Our defense has been doing a really, really good job, and they've been on the field for a good part of the game. So if we could get those guys fresher and keep them off the field and start moving the ball a little bit better, man, the sky is going to be the limit for our football team. We really have the potential to be really good. We just have to start executing. And like we tell the team every day, we tell them especially this week in practice, our sense of urgency is creeping up. Hey, it's week 4. We're 1-2. It's week 4. You got a chance tomorrow night to go 2-2. Okay, great. The season starts over. 2-2. We're 500. We got 6 games to go. We can finish the season 8-2. Have a home playoff game and do everything we want to do. Everything's still in front of us.
Right.
And that's kind of the thing that we're trying to explain to our guys. It's not too late to achieve any of our goals. We've got to start now, though. We've got to start improving the way that we're playing and the way that we execute on Fridays.
And I don't think any of them are giving up.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
They still want to fight. They still They still have confidence in their team. And
we got a good football team. We do, and they believe that, and they know that. So I think you're going to see a really good effort tomorrow night.
Let's go. All right, defensive stats.
Yeah, we had some good stuff, man. Those guys did some good stuff.
So we'll start with the co-defensive players of the week.
Yep.
Brad Leonard, 13 total tackles, 8 solo, 5 assists, 3 tackles for loss. And Tyler England, 19 total tackles, 10 solo, 9 assists, 3 for loss.
Yep.
And I told them when I interviewed them earlier, I was like, I knew one of y'all would get defensive player of the week because I was calling their names all night Friday night.
Yeah.
Like they both had a hell of a game.
They did. I mean, those are guys that they come to work every day. It's the way that they put in the effort in the off season, throughout all of our summer strength and conditioning, throughout the spring, throughout the fall camp. Those are guys that have earned what they're doing now. And they're playing really well. You know, Brad's been playing really well. Obviously, he's a team captain defensively. Tyler's a junior who's been really good for us in the secondary. And he's been playing his tail off. So, I mean, that's just two guys that embody what we're about defensively. That's just something that we want to see each and every week from those guys. We're getting two really good football players back this week in Rashad Jackson and Charles Howard. So you're going to see our defense take another step forward and being even more dominant than what I think they've been already. Because I do think we've had dominant efforts from our defense. But yeah, man, the way that Brad and Tyler played, man, they were flying around like crazy, making plays behind the line of scrimmage, making plays at the line of scrimmage, not letting big plays happen on their watch. And just, man, 19 tackles from a safety.
That's ridiculous.
You know what I mean? Like 19 from a safety,
Right.
and then outside backer making 13. Like, that's some good stuff that we got going on right there from both of those guys. And then you still got Austin Jones. Austin Jones had a big stat line.
13 total, 5 solo, 8 assists, 2 behind the line.
That's his third week in a row, just like that. You know what I mean? Austin's been playing his tail off too. He was the MVP last week defensively. So it's like we've got guys that are stepping up, that are making plays, and we just want to continue to improve on that side of the ball, eliminate the big play. You know, we had a couple deep shots last week that really killed us after quarterback scrambling. Now look. Their quarterback did a great job. He was slippery. He was doing a good job of avoiding rushes.
There was probably 4 or 5 times that I definitely clicked the mic off and was screaming because I thought we had a sack. And he's boom.
Yeah.
Just gone.
No, he did a good job, man. He was elusive. He was slippery.
Awesome athlete.
He was. And he extended plays, and that's what he does. That's what we saw on film. And we were prepared for it. We really were. Our guys tried their tails off, but we didn't take great angles at times. We didn't corner them up. We didn't trail them off, and that's what happens, man. Good players are gonna make good plays in games, and that's what he did. So we got to be better this week because we'll see somebody tomorrow night, very very similar to what we saw last week. The kind of style of team is very similar to what we're seeing tomorrow night.
Right.
So I think, what better test for us for this week than what we saw last week. So I think, defensively we're going to be prepared for the test.
All right, let's read off some others. Kimon Falls, 6 total, 4 solo, 2 assists, 1 behind the line. Javon Hadley, 4 total, 2 solo, 2 assists, 1 behind the line. Dyson V.
Vasilevskis.
What? 8 total, 6 solo, 2 assists, 1 behind the line. Spencer Conrad, 6 total, 4 solo, 2 assists. Lawrence Bangura, 11 total, 7 solo, 4 assists. Jace Robinson, 5 total, 2 solo, 3 assists, 1 behind the line. Andre Jones, 9 total, 7 solo, 2 assists, and a sack.
Yeah.
Two behind the line. We said Austin. Tevin Martinez, 4 total, 2 solo, 2 assists, 2 behind the line. Asher Mauer, 5 total, 3 solo, and 2 assists. Omari and Sadal, 5 total, 3 solo, 2 assists, 2 behind the line, and a sack. And Derek Stepter, 5 total, 3 solo, 2 assists, and 1 behind the line.
Yeah, I mean overall, I think a great defensive night.
Wow.
We've got to increase the effort in the scoring offensively, and we can have a very successful football season. Obviously, I think our defense is playing well. Defense is doing a really good job. Special teams can be better. Special teams and offense can be better, but obviously, I think defensively, we played 3
Right.
really good football games defensively,
Right.
and those guys are flying around. Like I said, that from the beginning when we started this, our defense has been, the backbone of what we're doing this year. It's a veteran side of the football for us, but like I said, tomorrow night expect even more from those guys because we're getting 2 of our best players back.
I can't wait to watch Rashad.
And we're excited to see those guys play, man. Chuck and Rashad are excited to get going. Chuck hadn't played since South Terrebonne.
Right.
So he is itching even more than what
Ooh.
Rashad is.
Ooh,
He's
well, I
going to
don't
kind
know
of be
about
on
that,
a pitch
but-
count. You know what I
Right,
mean? Just
right.
because, being out of shape,
Right.
being out of football shape.
Yeah.
He's in good shape.
I know what you mean.
Football shape, just not there yet.
Yeah.
So he's going to be on a pitch count. But Rashad's full go. Rashad's ready to go,
Right.
and he's had a really good week of practice. So we're excited to let him loose, and he's a crazy man. So we excited to see him get crazy tomorrow night.
I love that kid, man. I came here Wednesday before the JV and freshman game.
Mhm.
Y'all was coming out of practice, and he walked out of there and just walked up with the biggest smile on his face.
Yeah, just
He's like,
being
I'm,
able to play.
I'm
again.
back.
Yeah, no doubt.
I love it.
No
All
doubt.
right, total defensive stats. Rushing, 35 carries, 107 yards, 3.3 yards per carry. Passing, 16 for 20, 205 yards, 3 touchdowns. Third down percentage, 62%, 2 sacks. We had a fumble recovery. Total yards, 300 total yards, 55 plays, 5.7 yards per carry. I'd say that's, pretty damn good stats against St. James.
It is. It was our worst night against the pass. 16 for 20 for 3
Right.
touchdowns, 200-something yards. And it was our worst night in third down conversion, 60-something% conversion for the
Right.
opponent. Previous 2 weeks, it's been under 20%. So just being able to get off the field in third down. I know we had one big third down, third and like 20-something towards our scoreboard coming out the other way, and they were able to convert it for like a 50-yard gain.
Yep.
That was a huge play
That was big.
in the game. So just being able to get off the field on third downs is really important.
Right.
As good as they've played defensively, that's important. That's really important. So on third down, we got to find somebody that's willing to make that play and that's able to make that play. And tomorrow night, we're excited about seeing our guys play, man. We've been preparing all week. So we can't wait to see what those guys are going to do.
I'm ready.
Special teams.
Special teams. All right, PATs. Zach Hutchinson, 2 for 2.
Yep.
Field goals, 1 try, but it was blocked.
Block.
Kickoff, 3 total, 148 yards. Punt, and they punted 2.
Yep.
5 punts for 191 yards, 38.2 yard average, 1 inside the 15-yard line. And made a big play.
He did.
We're
I was
we're
nervous for him.
punting from
Our end zone.
like 5-6 yard line. I forgot what it was.
About we were
And
7-8 yards deep in our own end
I
zone.
think it was a high snap.
Yep.
He fumbles the ball, picks it up,
Rolls out left.
rolls out, and runs 35 yards for the first down.
Yeah. And so the thing is, on Thursdays we practice that every week. So we practice bad snap deep in our own end zone. We practice taking a safety
Right.
so he doesn't run it out 2 yards, get tackled, and then we give
him
up
good field
7
position.
right after. So we practice taking a safety, and obviously we don't think he's going to run for
Right.
35 yards and pick up the first down. So when we see it happen, it's like, okay, he's going to pick it up. He's going to run out the back of the end zone. We'll just give up 2 here.
That's what I was thinking.
And then he turns the corner, and you see us. We're all like, oh, my gosh, what is going on? And then he makes the first guy miss. and then he makes the second guy miss, and it's like, oh my God, he's gonna pick it up. And he picks it up, gets the late hit out of bounds, so we get another
Yeah.
15 on top of his rush
That's
already. It
true.
was like. It was awesome, man, and that's
So-
a gamer play from him. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like most guys, he's a true kicker.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like he don't play anything else.
He told
He's a
me.
he's a kicker. That's what he does.
He told me in his interview, he's like, man, I turned that corner. I was scared. Yeah. I was like, I imagine so.
Yeah. So man, he did a great job. But that's just a in the moment kind of play
Right.
from him
Yeah.
that you don't teach that.
I mean,
That's
you
just
can
something
teach.
that happens.
You can teach at practice, and then it happens in a game. Something happens like that in a game type situation,
It just changes.
and you like,
Your instincts kick in.
yeah.
Your
It's
instincts
like,
kick
let me go
in.
get that
He's
first
like,
down,
I'm
or
gonna go
just
try and get
run.
it.
Yeah, you're not
But,
thinking.
I mean, it was a big play for us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because the alternative was terrible.
Right.
So he ended up
Right.
doing a good thing.
Right. All right. Punt return. Kyron Falls 1 for 4.
Yeah, didn't have many opportunities
No.
there. Just one.
Kickoff returns. Amari Griffin 1 for 19. Bryson Woods 3 for 77. And Seontae Jones 1 for 13.
Yeah, so I think special teams wise, obviously last week Dylan was hurt, had a groin injury, so we went with Zach with all of the kicking duties.
Right.
Zach did a good job. I thought his punting was really good. You know, that deep punt
Yeah.
late in the
Yeah.
game. You know, pin them inside their own 5-yard line. That was huge for us. We ended up getting the ball back there. And then obviously his first down that he picked up in the punt game, that was big. But yeah, so I thought flipping the field position was a big thing last week. We did a much better job fielding kicks, obviously, than we did the week prior. We worked the hell out of that last week. So I think special teams wise, we're getting better. Field goal unit, obviously, we got one blocked. That's one that we cannot have there. So we worked a ton all week this week in practice, trying to extend our edge and widen our edge this week. We added a couple different bodies personnel-wise to try and lengthen the edge because it was nothing about our protection. Protection was good. Just the timing between the snap, the hold, and the kick.
Right.
We weren't wide enough on the edge to prevent it. So I think we'll be better this week. We've got a good plan in place. But that's a kick that we trust Zach to make each and every time he kicks it. We just got to make sure he has good operation. But yeah, special teams wise, I think we'll be fine. Heading into this week, but definitely need to clean some things up. In all
yeah.
three phases,
And look.
and that's football, man. In a nutshell, like we're never going to be a perfect football team, but as long as we continue to progress, obviously we got a tough schedule. And that's something that everybody knows, and that's not something that we shy away from.
Right.
But at the end of the day, the way that we feel about our football team is anybody who has us on their schedule, they have a tough schedule too because we're not going to be an easy
Right.
out. So we're just going to continue taking it to teams and giving it a 4-quarter effort, and eventually we're going to turn the corner.
Just keep getting better. Like
That's
I told
all we can
Hutch,
do.
I mean, at Salafouche, how many bad snaps we had?
Yeah, 4.
And then this week was,
Yeah, we got better.
just keep getting better.
That's it. That's all we can do.
All right, no JV or freshman to talk about last week, but last night,
Last night picked up 2 big
freshman and
wins.
JV both win. Freshman won
8-6.
8-6, and the JV won 24-8.
Either 6 or 8. Yeah.
6.
24 to
It was
or
6. 24-6.
24-6. There we go.
Big games.
Yeah. Talk about the freshman first.
Talk about the freshman first.
Yeah. I thought freshman wise, defense played lights out. Defense was phenomenal. First half, the defense played pretty much in our own territory, like 4 possessions in
Yeah.
a row, and
The
they
fumbles.
just didn't do anything. Our defense played really, really well. Braden Boyd had a really good game
Yes.
again. Pertwee landed.
Yeah,
He had a really good game again. Javian Willis on the back end had a big interception.
Yes.
At one point in the game, he did a good job. Carter Clute did a good job outside his outside linebacker position. Biscuit in the middle. Devontrell Cole He did a good job. We call him Biscuit. I don't know where we got the nickname from, but all I know is
We in Thibodeau.
we
Everybody
call
has
him Biscuit,
nicknames.
so I call him Biscuit.
Everybody has
I don't know where it
nicknames
comes
in
from,
Thibodeau,
but
man.
he had I thought he had a good game too. So man, we did a good job defensively. Like I told those guys today. So on Thursdays, when the defense or when the varsity does our walkthrough, run through type practice, the freshmen watch the freshman game
Right.
with the freshman staff defensively, offensively, watch the film, make corrections and things like that. But I made sure I went in there whenever they were watching film and told the freshman defense, hey, y'all played a hell of a game. Like they really did.
Yeah,
They did some
it.
good stuff, man. They didn't give up anything. Those guys took a bunch of shots deep. And our safeties did a good job staying over the top. Corners did a good job being where they were supposed to be. Offense did just enough. Offense got one touchdown. I thought, we need to play better up front. Obviously, we need to play better up front. And I actually bypassed our varsity walkthrough today to watch the tape with the freshman offense
Right.
and just make some corrections with those guys with Coach Shane. And I think that's going to pay some dividends next week, whenever we go up against Edie White in the freshman game. Just simply because, taking the right steps, making sure we're doing the right things, making sure everybody's on the same page, and making sure we don't get frustrated when things aren't going our way, making sure we have good body language, making sure, it's a lot
The
of
little
things
thing.
that go into being a good football team. And we want to make sure we correct it from the freshman level all the way up
Right.
until when they get to us.
That's the little things people don't think about. Like
and-
you think it's all coaching and running fast and catching the ball,
Right.
but it's a lot more to it.
It's a lot more to being a good football team and a good, solid, disciplined team.
And a good player, period.
Absolutely. So those guys understood that. They did a good job being receptive towards coaching today. So I think definitely they got better. I was excited a little bit with the way that we played on the back end. Cody Dawson, like Damian, was out this week with the freshman team. He
Right.
was sick all week, so Cody took over at the quarterback spot. Obviously, early on, it wasn't all going super good. He had a lot of pressure in his face. He was trying to make things happen, but he was able to deliver a really good ball to Anzio Holmes on a freaking, I think, 65, 70-yard touchdown pass, something like that on a slant route. He caught it, made it go, and that was a huge play for us. Obviously, it was the difference in the game. So that was good, man. He was able to get the ball out of his hands quick, and that's something that we kind of told him was, hey, we know you're getting pressure. We see you getting pressure, but if you can just pick a spot, throw it to that spot before the pressure gets there, you don't have to worry about the
Right.
pressure. And that's something that we saw on film and made some corrections with today. So, yeah, freshman team, man, really excited about them getting another win this week. Really excited about them in general, man. They're a good, talented
They got
team. They got some guys, obviously, that
athletes.
we've pulled up to play JV
Right.
with us, to be dressing out with varsity that don't get a ton of reps, but they deserve to be dressing
Right.
out with us. So, yeah, man, it's a bright future for us with that freshman team. I think we got a
agree.
bunch of key pieces that can be really good football players for us. We just got to make sure we do the right things in the classroom, make sure we're doing the right things on the football field, and that they're going to turn out to be a really good team.
I agree. And JV 24-6.
JV was a fun night.
JV was an awesome game.
JV was a fun night, man.
On both sides.
Defensively,
What, 6 interceptions?
a ton of interceptions.
At least 6.
Tristan Billiot had one. Fish, Braden Arsenault
2.
had 2. Tyron Brooks had 1 pick six
Pick 6.
return.
And Maris had
And
2.
Maris had 2. So we had 6 interceptions last night, defensively for the JV. Those guys took shots.
Yeah.
They were taking shots downfield. They were testing us. And our safeties on the back end did a good job playing up top and not letting anything get behind them. When Braden has 2 and Maris has 2, I mean that's really good stuff.
Right.
And then each corner had 1, so it's like from the secondary you had 6 interceptions doing their job in their coverage assignments, making sure that nobody got deeper than the deepest. So I was excited.
And I think we had 2 drops.
Yeah,
2 drops.
We did.
Like
We did.
In the hand.
yeah, we did. And then another thing in the freshman game, wanted to shout out Ty Learett. Ty Lee
Yeah,
Red had an
Ty Lee
interception.
on his dad's birthday.
Ty Lee Red had an interception
He
last
told
night.
I seen his dad's Facebook post, and he said that Ty told him that he would get an interception for him for his birthday.
That's awesome.
That is awesome.
That's awesome stuff.
Shout out Tate Lee Red.
Yeah.
Lee Red.
That was awesome. But yeah, man. So yeah, defensively in the JV game, great job by the secondary. Great job by the entire defense.
Yeah.
Obviously, up front, those guys
Definitely.
provided pressure. They would make sure the
Definitely.
quarterback didn't have all day to scramble around. We pretty much shut down a run game for the most part
Yeah.
the entire game. So defensively, really really nice effort by those guys. Offensively,
JT Jr.
JT played a great game, man. He did some good stuff. Touchdown pass to Jonathan Bell. Jonathan Bell's first touchdown of the
Yes.
JV season, which was exciting to see him. He's a good player, man. He just needs to work a little bit harder in the
Right.
weight room, get his body up to size and up to speed, making sure he's ready to have that physical contact in the varsity
I
games.
definitely called his name a few times the other night.
Yeah. Trayvon Tolliver, he was able to get his first action as far as like statistics wise this week. 4 catches for about 20 something yards, couple catches over the middle. He did a good job there. Camden Maggio got a freebie in the end zone off of play action again.
That
he-
play just.
He's been doing a good job in
He
JV.
did that against was it Salafouche?
Yeah, South Lafourche.
Just
And then
same
we
play.
had another one in the Jamboree
Yeah,
as well. He had one like that, so he's been getting that a lot on those tight end pop passes.
right.
But he does a good job of selling it. You
Right.
know what I mean? Like he's blocking.
And
Boom, he
No.
releases, and then the ball's in the air. So
with nobody.
it's very difficult to defend. But I mean, he does a good job selling it. It's not just all schematics.
Right.
It's him doing a good job with it. And then JT threw a good ball there. Ryan Vega catches a hitch route after JT looks like he's about to scramble out to the left side towards their sideline. Defense kind of pursues, and he drops one over the top to Ryan. Ryan's a junior. He's a guy that really works his tail off. So it's exciting to see our guys,
Right.
man, that are a
And-
little bit older, that aren't playing a ton varsity-wise, get reps in JV and have success and kind of really get rewarded for all the work that they're putting in.
Right. And JT ran two point conversions in.
Yeah. He did a good job there, man. So I mean, I thought we had a really good night offensively, and defensively. Obviously, like I said, Tyron
Right.
had the pick 6, so that was the other touchdown in that game.
And that was a hell of a run.
It really was. I mean, he goes back and then he makes somebody miss. He comes backwards while they over pursue,
Right.
and then he just starts zigzagging. Man,
That
it was
an
a
awesome
really
run.
good run
I
after
wish I could have
catch.
caught that on film.
Yeah, it was a good one. So we'll man, he was excited about it
Oh,
though.
I'm sure he
And
was.
that's a guy, man. He's a guy that just came to us. He was a transfer. So he's gonna get reps tomorrow night.
Right.
He's a guy that's earned that spot. So he's definitely gonna be a rotation guy tomorrow night for us. But it's just cool to see a guy like him have success, man. He's a really good kid. And he's worked his tail off since he's been a part of the program. So it's exciting to see him have some of the success that he's been having. And just to see all those guys, man, like a lot of people don't put a lot of stock into, the freshman night and the JV night and things like that. And that's just not us
They
as
should
a
come out and
program. Because, that's an exciting time for those guys. And that's the future of our program. So we're always going to put emphasis and put, a lot of emphasis on the things that those guys are doing. We video those games. We're going to watch tape of those games. We're going to make sure we make corrections because that's how we get better as a
Yeah.
football program.
Yeah,
So,
you're not just trying to make your varsity team better. You're not just
Yeah.
all right, let's watch film with this. All right, let's go out and work hard on varsity. No. This is your future, like
Absolutely.
you said. The freshmen, the JV, you want to work them. You want
Yeah,
to get them
we
better.
got to develop everybody
Right.
in our program.
Right.
It's not because, when you're looking at, let's get our varsity guys better. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Now, when the guys that are going to be our varsity guys next year,
And
once we
don't
get
know
some
nothing.
graduations,
Yeah.
now it's a ever recurring cycle of, oh man, we got to teach these guys everything. Whereas, let's just develop our program from freshmen through seniors, and then we just have an unending cycle of
Exactly.
they know as soon as they get to us, they know everything because it's the same terminology, it's the same corrections, it's the same coaching points, it's the same stuff that they're being hammered home every single day that they work. So yeah, man, I'm excited anytime we get a win, and we've got to teach our guys how to win, and what better way to learn how to win than to go out and do it in freshman ball, go out and do it in JV ball. That's not something that we take lightly.
No.
We're not going
And you
to
shouldn't.
we're not going to go out there and everybody gets to play. That's not high school
No.
football. That's
Definitely
not freshman football. That's not JV football. Like this is the high school level. Like no matter what it is, freshman, JV, varsity,
You earn
the
your
days
position.
of playing everybody and hoping everybody has a good time. We're here to win. We
Right.
want to win football games, and the way that you win and learn how to win is by going out and winning football games. So anytime we have an opportunity to go out there and play somebody and be competitive, we want to win the football game. So we're not a program that's going to take our freshman season lightly or our JV season lightly. Like if we can go out there and win every single game we play, that's our goal. We want to get those guys used to
And it
winning.
should
That
be.
way, whenever they're varsity football players, they're used to winning football games. They know how to win football games, and that's what we're going to continue to do.
And it should be. All right. East St. John
Big
tomorrow
game.
night.
Big game tomorrow night.
We over there.
Yep.
Who are some of their best players and
Ton of good players. Obviously, it's a top 5 team in 5A football. They're a 3-0 team. They beat St. James, they beat GW Carver, and they beat LB Landry. Last 2 games they pitched shutouts, scored a bunch of points. So it's an explosive offense. It's a really good defense. Against St. James, they beat them 41-40 in overtime. After trailing big early on in the game, they made a big comeback to win that football game against the team that we just played last week. So it's a team that's very, very similar to what you saw last week.
Right.
You're going to see an athletic quarterback who can make plays with his legs and extend some stuff that we're going to have to make sure we get to him a little bit better than what we did last week. You'll see talented receivers, guys that have offers, guys that can go play at the next level. Offensive line wise, they're pretty big up front. So it's very similar to what you saw in St. James last week. Defensively, I can say the same thing, man. Very good back end, backers and defensive line, aggressive upfield, things like that. So, but we have a lot of things that we have in place that we think we can have success with. Those guys, but they're a good football team. Coach Brown does a good job with those guys, getting those guys ready to play. Team that went to the semifinals in 5A in the playoffs last year. So we know it's a good football
Right.
team. We know it's a good program we're going to play against. But at the end of the day, we're a good team and we're a good program as well. And we got to go get back to 500. So our only goal tomorrow is to take this as a business trip and go over there, get a win, and get our butts back to Thibodeau and get ready for Edie White next week. So, but we're excited. It's another opportunity. Like I told our guys, especially the seniors, it's something that's like it happens so fast because obviously this is our 6th show already, and it feels like we just started the football. Like we just started the football
It's going
season,
quick.
and this is week 4. Next week's the midway point. It's like this stuff happens fast.
Yeah.
So for our seniors, we get 7 guaranteed opportunities. Before the playoffs, we got to make the most out of it.
Yeah.
So these things are going to start disappearing on us really quickly. So, it's a great opportunity though to go prove ourselves. Something that we put an emphasis on this week was at some point we've got to go beat the teams that people aren't expecting us to beat, and that's a big thing this week. If you poll however many people you want to poll, who's going to win? Thibodeau, East St. John, how many people is going to pick us? Not very many. But the 85, 90 guys that we got right here in this locker room, they're going to pick us. The coaching staff's going to pick us. And that's the only thing that's the only thing that matters is what we feel like we're going to go out there and go do. So we are going out there tomorrow night with winning on our mind. And anything other than that is going to be a disappointment. That's how we look at it, man. That's how we look at every single game that we're going to play. So we'll strap it up tomorrow night. Go be physical. We're gonna give it a 4-quarter effort, and hopefully we come back to Thibodeau with victory.
Boom. Boom. All right. Anything
That's it.
else?
No, man, that's it. I hope you guys come out and see us if you can make the trip. We'd love for you guys to make the trip.
I'll be there.
Yep. And I think we're gonna have a good night, man. I think we're gonna put together a 4-quarter football game. We'll be very aggressive in the way that we call our game. Offense, defense, and special teams. Coach Woods has a great plan in place. Coach Al has a good special teams plan. I think I have a great offensive plan. So, we're excited. We're excited to see our guys play tomorrow night and go out and get a victory.
All right. Well, hope to see y'all there tomorrow night. And I just want to shout out our one sponsor, Ribeye Benoit. Benoit's Performance Baits.
That's right.
Y'all check him out on Facebook. And on sponsor, holla at me.
That's it.
Other than that,
Go
go
Tigers.
Tigers.